Welcome to the PowerPoint presentation. So let's introduction will be the ESD, the electronic static discharge. Anti-static tools is going to be the next thing we're going to be talking about. Examples of musculoskeletal disorder or disorders. In that example, disposing old outdated computer devices, physical safety summary, and obviously we're going to end with the references. Static discharge, as we already said, what ESD is. So static is simply the buildup of charge between two surfaces. It arises when surfaces rub together, and this results in a excess of electrons on one surface and a deficiency on the other. So this is what we explain what ESD is. It's destructive as well. Keep that in mind. We're going to see in the next slide. It is destructive. The surfaces on which the charge builds up may be considered as a capacitor. The charge will remain in place unless it has a path which it can flow. So pretty much it's like lava. Lava can flow as well. It has a path which it can flow. I'm not comparing them, as there is often no real path through which the charge can flow. Through a voltage which may remain in place. Why was that so hard to say? For some time, and this gives rise to the term static electricity. So that's the term static electricity. But we're going to talk about the conduction path, which exists with a current flow, and charge will be reduced. There is obviously a time constant associated with this discharge. Our resistance will mean that a smaller current will flow for a longer time, and a low resistance will give rise to a much faster discharge. That's the whole conduction path, and the higher resistance and a low resistance will obviously give rise to much faster discharge. ESD occurs, which we're going to see in the next slide as well, with accumulated charge which may be present on the operator's clothes, or anything associated with like a non-conductive object. And this discharge is through a conductor, which may be part of the wafer, a chip, a CMOS chip, which is a chip located in the BIOS, basic input output system. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor. It's a battery chip or a packaged device, and of accumulated charge, if it's great enough, it corresponds with electrostatic potential. This may occur with it. This is talking about the accumulated charge. Okay, this is the slide. Discharge. ESD is obviously hazardous, or like I said, destructive. We're not going to repeat the same thing over and over again. So in many situations, it can be bad. Obviously, sparking is a natural concern in an area where flammable gas or liquid is present. You don't want that. And these applications require strict safety measures to prevent static electricity building up and discharge. Small non-visible ESD events can also cause serious problems, especially in the area of sensitive electronic components and assemblies. I think we kind of gave a bit of the problems already previously with the components, operators clothing, and the components, like we said, the wafer, the chip, and I explained the BIOS and the CMOS as well. So we kind of explained this, but this just references more about the hazardous and destructive manner that it could cause in situations like that. So electrostatic charge is usually generated by friction between two dissimilar materials, I said, or the separation of but two dissimilar materials, at least one of which is non-pore conductor of electricity. And the accumulated charge, which we already talked about, I'm not going to repeat it. It's rather than within the charged non-conductive object. Anti-static tools. So anti-static products can provide safety and comfort at a workplace. We're going to look at some materials and some things that help provide safety and comfort in the workplace, in the business, and wherever you work in. It may be even a home. This results in improved overall productivity, a general safer environment, and better running equipment, especially for electronics. ESD-proof products are known to have effective results whenever and wherever it's used. Anti-static spray can help eliminate the static electricity on clothing. When you spray it, it prevents the clinging on fabrics, garments, and any other kind of material that you have on your body, which could cause static electricity. And we already talked about it. The works of clothing, it can be carpets, rugs, garments, anything such as that, any fabric such as that. Then it's the ESD proof footwear and heel straps. These are footwear and heel straps are designed and provided to maximize employee safety and performance by using rubber soles or any other materials that do not conduct electricity. Because if it conducts electricity, it's not good and it's not safe for comfort in the workplace. Then we got anti-static flooring. The establishments and businesses you can make use of ESD proof flooring and proof floor matting, which should be essential grounding solutions to avoid any kind of electrostatic discharge. And it's widely used in industrial static control, since the equipment is highly prone to damages if it's exposed to static electricity. And obviously safe floors prevent further issues occurring. You don't want issues to your workers happening, so you prevent these issues by having anti-static flooring. That's one way you prevent the issue, is having anti-static flooring, which I repeated 3 times, but we'll just keep going. Then anti-static workwear. Anti-static, like we said, we talked about garments already. But we're going to talk about garments, but this is workwear. This is not heel straps, so this is about gloves and other workwear that is should be provided by the business or the company for every single employee, so they are feeling safe, protected in the area, in the workplace that they're working. So yeah, that's an internal part. Then we got this is repeat. Is anti-static tools. Again, this is just a quick roundup of what it is again. So it's designed to work within a system of grounding equipment to prevent static electricity from building to the point it could damage or could have enough to charge a fire or explosion. You don't want to make an arson in your house, not necessarily in your house, but in a workplace as well, where you work. That could cause really not great things. It could cause really bad things in a workplace. So it should prevent, these anti-static tools should prevent any kind of fire or explosion happening in a workplace. That's a big no-no. However, being non-sparking doesn't mean a tool can be also anti-static. When properly grounded, a non-sparking tool can also prevent electrostatic discharge. Skeletal disorder. Over time, everything wears down due to age and frequent use because of lying down too much, overworking, and this all comes down to age and the type of jobs you work. So working a high job that's requires a lot of use of your muscles can reduce your bones being fully it could cause painful injuries, and it's not great for you. But also it could be down to scoliosis, which is a normal curvature to our spine. But also scoliosis could come up in an early age. Sometimes even young children could have scoliosis, which is abnormal curvature to their spine, and their spine can't be straightened up, and it could cause bad issues, lifelong issues, and it could even cause issues further in life because they lose height, and it's not good for your body. So it's not good for your body, for your spine. So it's pretty bad when it comes down to scoliosis, and a lot of people suffer scoliosis. It's part of the musculoskeletal disorder as well, but it's more of a genetic musculoskeletal disorder. That's for people like young people. But the risk is still for older people, or for people in their 60s. in their 60s, 70s. This is for more risk for those kind of people. They develop painful musculoskeletal disorder increases, and we're gonna look at the references of those all of those disorders, which involve the muscles, bones, and related tissues. We're gonna look at arthritis and all of that in the next slide. In addition to age, other factors can increase the risk of developing painful orthopedic injuries. These include your family history, occupation, lifestyle, and certain activities such as lifting heavy weights, repetitive motions, or poor posture. These are the types. I said I'm going to reference these. So tendonitis is this inflammation of the tendon. The fibrous tissue that connects a muscle to a bone. It can especially affect your shoulder, elbow, ankle, or wrist. Then we got osteoarthritis, or just arthritis. This is a condition in which the cartilage, the rubbery protective tissue at the end of your bone, gradually wears down, and that's how the joint this can result in the joint in the pain in the hands, neck, lower back, knees, or hips. And we got obviously a different arthritis, which is the rheumatoid arthritis, or RA, it stands for short. Your body. This is when body's immune system attacks its own cells. If left untreated, RA can erode this bone and cause deformity in the joints, such as the fingers. This is pretty bad. This could actually be serious, especially in the older age. It could be very serious. That you actually need to get operation or something like that. It's very, very bad. But this is an inflammation that spreads to other organs throughout the body as well. So it's not a good thing. It's a very, very bad thing. Which can be also a genetic thing as well. So if you have family history that had rheumatoid or arthritis, you might have this as well. And then fibromyalgia. This condition involves a widespread muscle pain and tenderness, and it's occupied by a fatigue that can adversely affect your sleep habits, memory, and mood. Yeah, it's pretty bad as well. It's pain as well. It's not good as well. This causes as well through age as well, fibromyalgia. And then disposing old computers. You can actually sell your old technology, even if you think it's full out of date. It's a great option because it can help to defray the cost of your new technology, or simply the cost of hauling away old junk. There's a lot of options to sell it. Done Deal and things like Done Deal on Amazon have recycling programs, so they can sell refurbished products to people looking for a deal. That's how a lot of people sell their refurbished products, or some buy refurbished products. They don't buy. They sell refurbished products to buy computer parts for their laptop. So they sell the old technology to get a better deal for their for the laptop they have. Like buy more RAM or whatever. Some people buy more computer parts, so they make money by selling away really old junk, so they can buy better equipment. Remember to cancel or transfer software subscriptions. When you're giving away old computers, remember to transfer any software subscriptions. This is very important. When you have like Microsoft 365 or Adobe Suite, they require users to have like logins and having specific licenses. Remember, to deactivate any subscriptions, because another person could use this secretly and you might not know. And this also could be involved with your any other accounts. Like Spotify has it as well. It has specific licenses. So the Scribd and audiobook system, which has as well. And sometimes it could be not detected that anyone else is using. Netflix has it as well. Yeah, sometimes it can be. There's other people who kind of try to use other people's accounts. Not in this specific way, but they could try to use without anyone knowing. So be careful of that as well. Not necessarily just canceling or transferring your software subscription. Just be wary not to leave your software subscriptions on your computer, when obviously even when you're disposing it as well. Be eco-friendly. If your tech garbage is broken or old, just donate or sell. Make sure you dispose it in an eco-friendly manner. Give it to a certified e-waste recycler, and also don't just throw away. It's not good. Not good for the environment. Not good. It's not good. Don't do that. And there's ways of having it safely disposal. Having a way to safely dispose it. If obviously, if you're wondering how it is available, there's obviously several organizations that do that. There's a great resource for anything you need to recycle. Make sure you give your unusable electronics to an organization that knows how to dispose it properly. You don't want it to dispose it in the sea or somewhere like who you can't trust and who will do bad things, to the environment. You don't want that, so try to dispose it properly, please. Some people might think that throwing an old MP3 player or a few batteries in the garbage isn't a big deal, but it can have long-lasting consequences. Electronics that sit in a landfill can poison the environment with things like lead, arsenic, and other environmental toxins. So yeah, don't just throw like batteries or old MP3 players or anything that has lead or arsenic or a lithium, because it's an environmental toxin. And best is to let someone handle the device who really knows how to safely dispose of leaks, that not just lick you. I see a lot of people just throw them away, and it's like, I don't care about about the environment and things like that. Just look out for the environment, because I think everyone should play a part, but some people don't. Data, whether you sell, donate, or dispose of your items, make sure to erase any information stored on them. This will protect your data from those who use it for nefarious purposes. Yeah, this is what I said already. And some people can be very inconspicuous, and they can use your data without you even knowing it. The government's watching. No, I'm joking. Maybe it is actually, but many companies who sell refurbished products say they will erase your data. But it's really best for you to do it yourself to have a peace of mind. So yeah, erase your data, erase your hard drive. Don't erase your hard drive if you have something important, but erase your data, erase your hard drive if you don't have anything important. If you have something important, then have the hard drive and save it into something that you use, into a disk, and that's gonna also give you peace of mind. But if you don't have anything important, just erase your data. That's important. Physical safety: be sure to have a good posture. Be prepared to move your feet during the lift to maintain a stable posture. Wearing footwear such as high heel for flip-flops, elevator shoes, platforms, shoes for men. Tight clothing is not good as well. Clothing that's that has like a very poor material, or has material that's hanging out, is very bad. This makes it harder. You can trip on yourself. Very bad shoelaces can have that as well. So don't wear shoes that have very long shoelaces as well. You could trip over them, especially if you're lifting something heavy. High heels, and obviously high heels and like elevator shoes, which is high heels for women and elevator shoes for men. They're not good because you're using a lot of height. High heels gives you some high heels give you 3 inches. Some high heels could even give you as much as 7 inches. And elevator shoes, obviously they're not going to give you 7 inches, but there's elevator shoes which can give you around 4 inches, which that's a lot of height. And when lifting from a low level, bend your knees. Ensure your back is kept straight, maintaining a natural curve. You don't want to have an unnatural curve, because then you're kind of affecting your spine. A small bending of the back, hips, and knees is preferable to either completely flexing the back or completely flexing the hips and knees, like squatting, like you do a squat. If you ever done a squat, it's preferable to do like flex your hips and knees like doing a squat. That's when you maintain a full natural curve. Do not bend the back any further whilst lifting the object. Don't do that. That's not smart. It's not smart. It's not rational. This can happen if the legs begin to straighten before lifting the object. Yeah, do not twist whilst the back is bent. Hold your shoulders level and facing the same direction as the hips at all times. That's physical safety. Physical safety number 2 is keep close to the load. We can see a picture right here. Not literally. Don't do it like that. That's how the image shows. But obviously, hug the load close to the body. This ought to aid you make a stronger and more solid lift than gripping the load tightly with the hands only. Grip the load close to your body for as long as possible with the heaviest side of the load towards you. If you can get near to the load first, slide it towards you before you attempt to lift. Obviously, provide appropriate mechanical aids and equipment to ensure that it's properly maintained in accordance with the manufacturer specifications. Obviously, the layout and design should be helped if you're shorter, or if you're quite let's say more, your weight wise you're more bigger, let's say. It should be accessible for those kind of people as well, especially storage areas, and you should not push yourself. If it is high, you may help should be required. Help should be ensure that if there's something is very high up and there's nothing there to help you, there should be a person who could help you and who can ensure help for storage areas, such as who are storage areas which have which are very high up. They should be appropriately given to you, and they should be equipped properly for you. But it's not always the case, but it should be the case for a lot of people, because that could risk injury as well. And order stock in smaller containers that are easier to store and lift. That's very important. And ensure workers are not exposed to repetitive work for long periods or work that requires a significant amount of high force. I think work should be flexible, and you should do different things at different times. It should not be the same thing, because again, doing things too much for long periods could affect your body, affect the spine, like we said earlier with musculoskeletal disorder. So repetitive work for long periods should not be should require a significant amount of high force, and should be more flexible work. Should be more doing work which is different for periods, because it affects less your body. Workers are at risk from lifting and carrying injuries, particularly when what talked about load is too heavy, it's difficult to grasp, or it's too large. Physical effort is too strenuous, and they're required to bend or twist when handling heavy loads. Summary: this presentation will look into the 5 key important topics of ICDs and compromise of ESD, electronic static discharge, which you acknowledge what it was, and the consequences provided, the types of musculoskeletal disorder, and the way it affects you and your body. The disposing of computers, and gave 5 points about it, gave even a point how you can actually make money of it as well. The last topic we covered was physical safety, and be wary of your body carrying devices and items, and whatever you carry, don't put pressure on your back. Know that you have a limit. Sometimes I don't, and I do tend to risk a lot of times. So I broke my ankle a couple of times, so due to skateboarding. Yeah, be sure that's what I do. Be sure to, if you're a kind of person who's not risk taking, be sure to kind of always think about what's gonna happen next. I don't, so well, I do, but I kind of like to risk things. I like to hike and do a lot of risky things, so because I don't know, because maybe I have to read on to physical safety more. No, I like risking, but if you're a person who's not risk taking, you gotta look at yourself, at your body, and at limits they can carry. Obviously, we're gonna look the references. These are the references we had. I think we're gonna just wrap it up here quickly.